Welcome back to the Setter Podcast. I got Mark and No Quentin here. How you feeling today, Mark?
I'm good. I have a lot of energy. I don't know why, but I do.
It's the excitement. It's all the shit going on.
It is, I know.
Life is good. Life is good.
It's making me smile.
What's new? I feel like we haven't talked in a while.
Same old. Yeah, doing my stuff, streaming.
Last time we were alone together, we talked about
getting in the ring with
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. Get you stand the anthem. But yeah, talked about that, and I don't know I don't know about the comments.
Yeah.
We haven't seen them yet.
We're gonna be honest here. This is literally the next day after we shot that episode about Mike Tyson. We recorded 2 days in a row, so we don't know what happened to that episode. Who knows? But
who knows?
What was it? Yesterday was Wednesday. Yesterday was Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Lakers smoked the fucking Heat. Poor Jimmy Butler.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, at this, I keep seeing people say, "Oh, well," I feel like I love how on Twitter, social media, you see a lot of Sixers fans where nobody's really hating on him or anything. Everybody's just kind of yo, the Sixers are fucking stupid for letting him go.
Why
Everybody's just yo, y'all are idiots. Y'all need to fire yourselves or get out because we let too many people walk, and the people we kept paid, we paid too much for them.
We paid too much, and they're not showing up for what we paid.
And Jimmy was a good fit in Philly because his attitude was Philly.
Yeah.
So it was easy to like him.
Definitely. He showed a lot of promise.
He was shit talker, clutch, aggressive. That's what Philly is. And to have that attitude there was good.
We had such a good team with him on it, and it was
And we only had him for half a season.
Yeah, and that's so crazy. Why? What did y'all see in him, and then decide to be okay, just get rid of him?
Well, I think it was just the money thing, because we didn't even match what Miami offered. In Miami, there's no income tax.
Okay.
In Miami, so and you live in fucking Miami.
So he was let me just take that. I mean, I mean, yeah.
Would you rather make less in Philly?
Or
make more in Miami?
If he had the the mindset of yo, I want to be an underdog and be yo, I want to pull through with this, then he would have stayed. But
that's what happened. Nobody had Miami in the finals this year.
Yeah.
Everybody was the Lakers or the Clippers or the Raptors or Giannis with the Bucks. Nobody was the Heat making it.
So then at the end of the day, then I guess you would say it was both underdog in a sense, but it was all just a matter of money.
Yeah, we didn't put our we should have went all in on him.
But at the end of the day, we have some good players that it would have looked all right. If he would have stayed, we would have been able to actually do something.
Oh, for sure, we could have made it far. But
That's
at the same time, if we would have paid him, one of those guys would have gone. But honestly, if Al Horford or somebody else that would have left, I wouldn't have cared.
It wouldn't have mattered.
And I feel if he would have stayed with us, our team would have I see there's no chance that they're beating the Lakers. I feel our team was more equipped to beat the Lakers than with Jimmy on it than the Heat.
Yeah.
Because right now they just lost one of their 3-point shooters, Raj. Even though we don't really have a lot of 3-point shooters, but Embiid could go up with Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck is guarding LeBron on our team.
Let's just
it would have been Horford if he was still on our team because Simmons is getting bodied by LeBron.
Yeah.
I've
seen a couple.
He's too slim.
He's not.
But Jimmy can handle anybody else on that court. So what the fuck
Yeah. Honestly, all you had to do was just figure out the LeBron situation, and you probably would have been good. We would have been able to manage.
And even then, you could guard everybody else perfectly and just let LeBron drop 40,
That's
and
what
you could still win.
You could still,
You could let him just go wild.
You could still
win
go
the
wild.
game.
I would say definitely just try, but obviously,
just
if
try
you
and bring him back a little bit. You can't stop LeBron. You can only contain LeBron.
Or you could just tire him out. You can literally that's all you can do. You just tire him out. Put yourself there and see what you can do. But if obviously you can't stop him, it's cool. But just make sure you're on your shit too.
Yeah.
Don't just be oh, okay, let's just, no one can guard him, let him have fun, and then we just do nothing at the same time. It's nah, you got to do either or. You can't just, let that happen.
But even now you're seeing what LeBron is doing. Because, LeBron all year, LeBron literally is at the point where, or he's kind of always been like this when he started getting older, where he's just I just do just enough to make it to the finals.
Because he doesn't need to,
And he lets everybody else do it. And then when it's the finals, he fucking goes wild. Because yesterday they won by 20 points. And in the game, they were leading by 30 at one point. And like they're just snapping. Like it's like, all right, cool. Like it's like the whole season I wait all year. And he had an even longer season because he sat at home for a couple months. Had this short little thing. And now it's just, all right, for these 7 games, which I see it. I think the Heat may get 1 game. And it's going to be like Lakers in 5.
Yeah.
But he's about to go fucking hard for these next couple games.
It's just,
and just shit on them, get MVP.
It's just ridiculous. Because I feel like...
And be I think the first person to win championships with 3 different teams. But...
that's an accomplishment.
It was going to be either him or Kawhi, because Kawhi won with the Raptors, Spurs, and it was going to be the Clippers, but they got fucking knocked off. It's another thing.
That must be so sad.
Well, they didn't fire the coach of the Clippers, and they parted ways. And I want this man to come to Philly so bad, because
he does, yeah.
They was talking about Ty Lue, which was like the Cavaliers coach when LeBron was there. And then he went to the Lakers, and like he's been kind of shitty ever since.
Yeah.
Or the Houston Rockets coach, who like, if he were to come, he would get rid of our entire roster and not being pissed off because he hates big players. He's all like offense, and our players are like Embiid's defense. He can score, but he's defense.
Like
Simmons can't shoot, so he's more defense and like just layups and like dunks and shit. Like, he's not a shooter.
We have a mix.
So he would get rid of everybody for a bunch of shooters and no defensive players, and I'd be pissed. And then anybody else is kind of like that.
Yeah.
So out of who's out there, I would prefer him. His raspy ass voice.
Yeah. It's just crazy though. Like.
Yeah, I got Lakers in 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody does.
And that's me being nice.
Yeah.
Like I could see a sweep the way last night looked, but I don't see them losing 2 in a row like that. I feel like they won't come back. That's why I said the last series they were playing the Celtics, and the Celtics beat them. And my brother was like, "Yo, on my birthday," he's like, "Who should I bet on?" And I was like, "I don't see the Heat losing 2 games in a row. Like, bet on the Heat." And he bet for the Celtics, and the Heat won.
Your brother's always losing. You never winning them, Johns.
He be betting all the time.
But then he always got stories like, "Yo, this one will bet on this," and he got all his money.
He's like a Forex bull. Right? My one friend made $1 million. All right, but what you making?
I know. What'd you make though? I ain't making.
I'm still in the early stage. I'm still with 300 gold.
So we didn't make any that much yet. But no, it's just that's crazy though. Like, betting's crazy.
Yeah, I did it for like a week. Because at my last job, that's all we would talk about. It was a lot. Like, we all liked sports, but they all were heavy on sports betting, and I never really did it. And then one week I got like on my paycheck, like my commission check, I got a little bit extra. So I'm just gonna take like this like $50 and then just try it out.
My man's made like $300.
Not even. It was a McGregor fight that weekend, and I bet against McGregor because I didn't think he was gonna win. He beat his ass in the first round, and then I think they did, and then they did something where like. They do it kind of all the time where you put amount of money and then they match it. Mm-hmm. So this was back in like January, February, and the college playoffs were on, and I bet like on the 2 college teams before the championship, and I got both of those awfully wrong. Oh. And as much as I love sports, it's still when I was like, I feel like LSU gonna lose. They've been too hot. He broke the record for like most touchdowns by one player in a game. He had like 7 touchdowns. I was like, this shit not for me. I'm out.
Yeah, Victor said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'll keep my money.
Like I didn't even get one right. It was just all of them just so bad.
If I'm ever betting, it'd just be $1. That's it.
And I thought about it. Do you feel like would you be interested in like going to casinos and shit? Like I don't know. Are you into that?
So I've never been to a casino before.
But does that entice you?
Not really, but the thing is, I've never been in that setting, so I don't know if that would. But again, I am a type of person like I'm kind of competitive in a sense.
But that's not competition, though.
It's not competition,
but
in a way.
Do you see yourself as a gambler? Is my question.
I do at some points. I play some games where it's like I want to risk it sometimes. So like usually risk it all for something. I can see myself, but I'm not like a super crazy risker or like gambler. Like I feel like I can see myself. I'm like, bro, if I do this. And I can see at the end of the road, I'm like, bro, if I lose this, then I'm assed out. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like there's a lot of people that, they see that and they're like, oh, I don't care. I'm still gonna go all in. I'm just like, I'm not that type of person to go and be stupid to just put all my chips on the table on something that I have like a 40 or less chance of winning, and then be like, oh, I can get it. I'm like, nah. I don't like taking those odds.
Yeah, I don't see. I feel like that's our parents' generation type of thing. I feel like people older than us are like more into gambling and shit. Cause like, what's some other thing? So, my mom, like, super gambler. Like she like you can't pull.
Never told me that.
Like you can't pull her out of a casino. And like my dad would just be there like he'll play a little bit, but he'll just stand behind her, like let her do her thing.
I'm gonna pull up to your house with a deck of cards.
Not like that though. She just likes to like the slot machines and shit like that. She's not big on like blackjack or like she don't know any of that. She just likes to bet, pull the thing,
and just hope you get your odds right. Yeah,
and that's her whole thing. She'll spend like $500. Like I won $20.
I'm like, she'll say I won $20, but then I'll ask later. I'm like, so wait, how much did you have when you walked in there?
Yeah, they never want to talk about that.
It was like, but don't. I won $20.
And like my grandmother's the same way, and I'm not big in like I don't that like. Somebody asked me that the other day, like, would you want to go to Vegas? It's like I would go to Vegas, but I wouldn't go for that. Like I would do all the like the shows and shit or whatever else is going on.
Vegas.
But like the gambling part doesn't, or Atlantic City doesn't entice me.
Yeah.
So like only part I would see myself getting into is sports gambling. That's because I know sports.
Yeah, I feel like if you know it, and I feel like, to be honest, I feel like that's why a lot of these, like you said, like older people, like that generation is kind of like who really likes it because again, like back then, that's kind of like was their main entertainment. I want to say main entertainment. It wasn't, but it was definitely an outlet where like a lot of people can go to where they can just kind of, just blow their money on something that was like very simple to them. Where now there's so much stuff because before, sports gambling wasn't even like allowed, in a sense. So there's just so many different things now that are like.
It wasn't around for, I feel like that's another part of it. It wasn't around for us. It got banned for a couple. Like,
that's what
in their generation, it was around. Then it got banned for us, and now we're old enough to do it, and it came back.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. So it was like a lot of different stuff. Really?
Yeah.
I sound like super loud. That's
it might be because I only have one ear. That's my bad.
Because I sound super loud. I'm like right here, so I'm like, let me just, because I talk back here and I can still hear pretty good. But anyway.
You want to sound crisp.
Yeah. Crisp.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel in a sense where they have, it was just their generation, and there's just so many things now where you can like gamble with. It doesn't even have to necessarily be money, and there's so many different things. So I feel like it's weird. But again, I've never been in that setting, so I don't know. Who knows? I might be a crazy gambler who ends up wanting to spend all their money at the damn casino. I hope I'm not.
What I just don't understand is I hear people talk about it, like, oh, like the rush. I'm like, I see no rush in this. Like, I just see myself like, yo, I have no control. It's literally just throwing a shot out there and having no knowledge.
It's luck.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like that. Like I prefer.
You prefer a skilled thing. Like you can kind of like know. Like
I need to have some sort of backing before I put my money into it. Yeah. So like it's like if I know boxing and people are like, oh, like
you have the stats.
This guy like McGregor's like really favored because he's really famous and like he's good. But I'm like, wait, but like there's this one part of this guy. Yeah. He may not be as well known, but he has this part of him that can beat him.
Yeah, because you
put my money on.
Because you can literally see the stats. Like literally when you go to a casino, you see the game.
You have to like really be into it.
You see the games, and you might even like the only thing the games will have is just the odds, and it's just like okay, you have this amount of odds of winning this, you have this amount of odds of winning this, but that's literally it. There's no like stats, there's no determination, like but. And that's why a lot of people play that stuff like blackjack because they have the odds, but they know it's not enough. So what do? They try to do stuff with like telling people's facial expressions and lies, and there's like all that other different stuff.
Poker is also different to me. I don't know how to play poker like properly, but poker is different because you can kind of learn that, and you're betting on yourself in a sense. Yeah. And how you can like finesse and like do the facial like
your poker face and doing all that stuff with your hands and knowing even stuff like knowledge of knowing how many different cards are like knowing how many cards are in the deck. So then like if you have like 3 of them in your hand, you're like okay, so only one other person has that. Like you can tell different stuff from that.
And that part that's more skill to it though. I just don't like the idea of like putting money into a machine, pulling the lever, and praying for the best. Like that's just throwing away money to me. Same thing with like the lottery. Like the lottery is not big with our generation, and I think it's not gonna stick around for too long.
Yeah, it's not.
I see it as a trap. Like, I don't see that shit. Like, my grandparents, when I was younger, like, they would send me to the store, like, every day to go play they numbers.
Bro. It's crazy because when I was younger, and I wouldn't even say younger. I would definitely say, like, even being in high school to when I was younger, too. Like, my dad would always get, like, the lottery tickets, right? Mm-hmm. And he'll get, like, a bunch of different ones. I'll just get, like, a bunch of them.
You see him coming back from, like, the gas station.
I'll see him come back. And then, like, the thing that's crazy is that he'll ask me and my brother, like, yo, just, like, fill these out, like, randomly. Like, just do it. He'll be like, yeah, pick one of these, like, one on all the top rows and, like, maybe, like, 1, like, 2 in the bottom row. And he's like, that's it. and he'll hand me like 3 of them, and I'll be like, all right, I'll do it. So I'll be sitting there just thinking, never like, what number do I like? I'm like, I like 3. I'm like, 7's my favorite number too. So I just literally be going like doing all of them, and I just hand them back to him. And there'll be times where he comes back and he'll just be like, yo, this one almost won. I'm just like, oh, snap.
It's always that, though. It's always
almost. Yeah, it's always either a number off or, something small.
Yeah. But I used to get sent all the time to, like, the little poppy store, and I was all young. I didn't know Spanish that well yet, so I'm, like, trying to explain to them.
Just pointing. It's like, I'm like, the ticket.
I'm just like, yo, the same thing you can do with, like, obviously it's not the same type of reward, but the same money you put every day into buying a $10 ticket, you could just put that $10 to the side every day.
To the side, yeah. People don't realize that, until they see it where, probably not even see it, but when they look back, and that's with anything, you look back and you're like, yo, if I didn't, even with like subscriptions, like if you're like, yo, if I didn't have this subscription and it was $12 a month and I had it for 3 years, and you're just like, bro, all that money, just imagine, that's just like...
That's why, like, if I don't use the shit, I'm canceling it. Like, I'm very mindful. Like, my Apple Music is the only subscription I really have. Mm-hmm. So, like, I use the shit out of that. So, I don't mind having that there. But, like, if I have Netflix, Hulu, and all this other shit, and I'm not using, like, 3, I'm like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? Like, that's just throwing money away.
That's just throwing money away,
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe at a certain age, that shit just clicks. Like, because, after, like... certain things when you're younger just don't make sense, and then you get at a certain age, all of a sudden you like it or it interests you. Or
that's just the old age. Once you hit that certain age, you're just like, whoa.
Maybe just boredom, or just like getting a certain age where you're like, yo, I just want some type of new thrill, and they just decide to go for it.
Yeah, just like dads building their deck.
Their deck. I don't know. I feel like I'm glad I don't have like I don't have an expensive habit.
Oh. True.
Like, people like smoke weed or smoke cigarettes or do this, and like it's like smoking weed is like, I don't even smoke, but it's like if you are a habitual like smoker,
like an actual,
it's expensive. Yeah. Like that shit adds up. Like that's like another meal.
Especially like nowadays, because people with all the different types and people like basically putting the price up a lot too, and they're just like, oh, but this is mine. This is my product. This is my price. Everybody has different prices and stuff, but a lot of the times you can see, or not see, but you can feel the difference, depending on different prices. So it's like, it's really crazy, but it is expensive. For
like,
sure.
Like what? Like for example, for like a thing of cigarettes, was it like 15?
I would say so.
I remember at one point it was like 12, but I haven't.
It's crazy that I don't know just because my mom smokes. But
I usually see signs like on corner stores, they'll have them listed, like what their prices are for Newports or whatever. And like at one point it was like 12, but I remember there was like taxes and shit. But like imagine that. Some people, let's say if you smoke 1 pack a day, and that's like, if you're a regular smoker, that ain't shit. That's like that's like
you're right. It's just I hate to admit it just because my mom. Yeah, God. Yeah.
Like say it's like $15, right? Mm-hmm. Times 7. That's almost like $100 a week, right?
Exactly.
And that's if you only smoke a pack a day. Most times people smoke 2. Mm-hmm. Real crazy old heads be smoking like 3, like crazy shit. But like if it's like 2 packs a day,
I don't get it.
$120 a week. Exactly. That's a bill.
Just imagine that in your pocket. And
that's one of your bills. That's
straight coming. My mom's like, let me stop.
That's what, like if you're doing 2 packs and you say 200, just to round up, like 800 a month. If I'm not tripping, that seems so expensive.
No, that's a lot. I feel like it's more. If I'm being honest, I feel like it should be more. It's a day.
Let's say a flat 10. So 10 for a pack. So 2 packs, $20 a week. Or $20 a day. I'm tripping.
That's what I'm saying. 800. I don't know.
So 140.
Seems like even more.
140 a week. Times that about 4. Bruh.
Yeah. That's up there.
140 times 4. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's
like but and even in weed, I feel like in time, like certain times, even though you get more, I feel like you.
Well, it's definitely different than cigarettes.
Yeah, like you don't smoke a pack of weed.
Cig of weed.
Yeah, like that's so old. Where's that from?
Rush Hour. It's not cigarettes. It's a cig of weed. Yeah. Oh shit. But
yeah. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like weed is more expensive in that sense sometimes.
Yeah, you definitely, I feel like I don't want to say you get more out of it because that's just weird saying, but it's different.
And then there's people who like have a higher tolerance, so they smoke a lot more, and that shit really starts to add up. And I be talking to people like when I was in dorms and shit, or like just like friends that we would have that smoke, and I hear the prices they be doing. or people who used to smoke, like, yo, I used to smoke this much a day. Like, I used to be really spending on, like,
they'd be saying, like, there's probably, like, $16 or more for, like, something that's, like, I don't know, they probably can get maybe, like, 3, like, blunts in, and then just, like, damn, that's that. Once you, and then they'll probably smoke, they'll probably smoke 2 of them, you know, that day, so then they only got 1, so then that ends up making them want to buy more, and then, like you said, wraps, and then it's like, yeah, that's
and edibles and all this other shit. Even though edibles isn't really a daily thing, but
people can make it into.
And then people have, like, that tolerance, so they just be blowing through it.
Yeah.
That's just crazy to me. And I don't have any of that. Like, obviously, like, we like videography, we like photography, we like gaming, but that's like a one-time purchase, and then we use the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because
a PC, like, we dropped $800 on a PC, but that's one time, and then probably don't have to spend money like that ever again. You can literally
use it all the time. Like, I say that all the time. Like, I like to spend my money on something I know that I'm gonna, like, be using not just once, but I can use it for a long time. That's why last episode I was saying, like, the reason why I spent so much on my PC is because I'm planning on using this for a long time. I'm not planning on using this for, like, a year or 2 and then be like, oh, I can't use this anymore. You know, like that. That's what anything, just like with food and stuff like that. That's why, like, I always be very mindful when it comes to food, because I'm like, bro, like, am I actually going to, like, eat, like, all of this or anything like that? Because it's like, bro, I don't want that to go to waste, because I'm just spending money that I'm gonna have to it's gonna be gone. So
think about it, because, like, what was it, 400? So another 40, 160. So it's like almost 600. If it was like cigarettes, what we were doing earlier. That's in a month.
On a month, okay.
I really hope my math is somewhat accurate.
Y'all do it.
Think about it, like, and then what you spent on a PC.
Exactly.
That's in a month.
Exactly.
And that's not, and obviously you're not smoking for just a month. You're smoking throughout your year, most likely, unless you go through, like, a little smoke break or whatever, a tolerance break.
And the thing that's crazy is that, like, you'll hear the people that do smoke that, like, you know, that, like, you said, it adds up to all of that, and then they'll probably say something, like, here and there, maybe like, oh yeah, you know, I want to get this or I want to get that, and they're like, oh, but I'm just saving money, and then it's just almost like you think about it, like, well, cut back.
If you cut that out, yeah.
You probably would already have that. Mm-hmm. But again, that's with anything. So I can't just say it's with food, but that's with anything, honestly.
And, like, don't get me wrong. I don't smoke myself, but I don't, like, if you want to smoke, fucking smoke. I don't care. Oh, no, it's just in my thinking, I'm just like,
it's just how you
spend your money. How the fuck you want to spend your money? But me personally, I just think, like, yo, that's a lot of money.
It everybody has that thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like, we can't just make it seem like it's just people who smoke weed. Like, it's not that. It's anything. Like, you know.
Even alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
People go out to a club, get bottle service, spend way too fucking much on a bottle of alcohol you get at a freaking liquor store for, like, a fraction of the price.
I fucking spent $40
just to flex.
The last time I was out. But, I mean, we put it to use, so I wasn't, like, upset.
Yeah.
You know, I would have been upset if I had put the money and then it was there and then nobody, like, either drunk from it or nobody smoked the hookah.
And that's like,
I was going to be like,
I heard a story the other day of somebody telling me, like, yo, like, I was in New York with my friend, like, he was getting married, and we was at this club, we were getting bottle service, everybody was ordering drinks, and his friend was like, yo, like, order 1942, like, Don Julio. And he looked, like, they have,
you know how expensive.
And that's just at a liquor store for a bottle. I think it's like $100.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm tripping or not.
Probably.
But like, just to go to a liquor store and buy a box is like $100 for a bottle. That's me just guessing. Because I know, like, Clase Azul is like a little bit.
Wait, what do you mean? Like
like the same bottle you'll find in the club of 1942 is like $100, but at a liquor, like, discount liquor store.
Okay.
But in the clubs with bottle service shit, they just jack that shit up.
So he's looking at the money.
So he's looking at the menu, and he's just like, how much it was for, like, Don Julio 1942, and it was like $2,000 for bottle service.
I gotta go.
And it was the same fucking body. He was like, the same exact body in the store. He's like, yo, we're not fucking ordering that.
Yeah. I'm tripping. I go right in there, stuff that joint in my jacket.
Yeah.
Pull it out.
Yeah, to them probably be like, yeah, you can't take it home.
Exactly. That's true. But you can't take it home, but it's like, I'm not spending. That's wild. $2,000, bro.
It was in New York. So that's another part.
I feel like a lot of places would still have.
But it's still expensive. Any bougie place or any higher end, like, high profile place is gonna be like that. But that's still insane.
It's at $2,000. Like, what?
For a bottle.
For
a bottle.
For a bottle that.
A bottle and some girls and sparklers.
Shit, they got fucking lights. They don't even have sparklers. But no, like, it's crazy. Like, spend that much, like, on one bottle that probably you're probably not gonna all drink. Like, it depends on your group. you know, depends on your group, but you most likely aren't going to finish it. You're not gonna be able to take it.
I'm fucking finishing that.
No, yeah. If I'm spending, then yeah.
I'm gonna lick the inside of the bottle for $2,000. Turn into Orochimaru in that bitch.
I'm gonna be like, flip it over. I'm like,
I'm gonna pour water on the bottle just to get
all the little bit that's still in there. Nah, yeah, we getting every bit of that, and then I'm gonna show them that it's empty, and then I'm gonna take it home. I'm gonna even take the bottle home. Like, it's empty. Y'all can't take this away from me. I'm using this bottle.
Look at my 1942 vase.
Exactly. I'm using the whole bottle. I'm throwing it away. No, it's staying with me. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, fuck that. Expensive habits. So I don't really have any of that.
I'm trying to think.
And another argument I heard of just like, I'm sorry, I heard it like a story or like a little post. It was just like a conversation between a non-smoker and a smoker. It was like, oh, like you spend how much on cigarettes? It's like, oh, like $15, $12, whatever. He's like, oh, and how many you smoke a day? It's like 2. And he did like the calculation. He's like, oh, like with that much you could buy a Ferrari and all this other shit. And the smoker's like, you don't smoke? And he's like, nah, I don't smoke. He's like, where the fuck is your Ferrari? Because it's just like, at this end of the day, if you say like, oh yeah, you're wasting all that money, most likely, for most people who don't save money, they're probably spending it on something else if they don't spend it on cigarettes. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's what I'm saying. There's different habits.
So like,
you know? Yeah.
unless you're an active saver, like it doesn't make a difference. You're gonna, if you spend all your money, if you're bad with money, you're just gonna blow your money.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's just how it is.
Yeah. I feel like that's also, I'm sure this is a thing. I feel like that's a good way to make people quit or like motivate people to quit. Say if like, obviously you need like the patches or stuff like that to help them with their tolerance, or like the fuck is it called?
The what?
When people are quitting and they have like
the nicotine.
Yeah,
that's what you said, right?
Yeah, but what's it called when withdrawal? When they go through withdrawal to prevent the withdrawal and stuff like that. But like another part of motivation, I feel like, is if you were to stop smoking, to like not spend it on cigarettes, but to still put that money aside as if you were spending cigarettes and see how much you save. And I feel like that'd probably be helpful to see.
It kind of influences you to put it towards something
like,
else, or distract you and do.
Look at all this money that I have now because I'm not smoking.
Bro, I've tried, and I wouldn't say I tried. Let me stop. But me and my brother sometimes do just go to mom and be like, stop. We'll just be like straight up like stop, or she'll like, the one thing I hate is when she'll smoke and then she'll like end up being in the car. Like, she'll just smoke and then she comes in the car and then like you can just smell it, and I'm just like, I hate it. Or sometimes she smokes in the car but she has the window down sometimes, and it's not when I'm in there. She only does it when she's by herself. But then if I end up going in the car, you can smell it. I'm just like, I tell her, like, yo, why do you do this? Like, I hate it. But yeah, I try to tell her sometimes, you know, because I don't like to see her do that. It's just like, I hate it. For me, it's honestly because like I hate the smell. It's like it just disgusts me. Like, I'm just like, bro, the smell is horrible, and I'm like, yo, you're inhaling that, you're putting that in your body, like, ugh, nah, I'm good.
What was I gonna say? You ever watch those videos of just like, I'm sure you've seen them, where they're just like, like they'll show like, oh, this is what like cigarettes does like to your lungs, and then
bro, I seen them all the time recently, either from like Hulu or just like Twitch ads, and it would be the one with the boys in the
videos. They'll put like a cigarette inside like a water jug with like a filter or something like that, and they just show how yellow and brown it gets.
Yeah, it was, I think, one for vaping, and it was basically this guy, and he's like in a warehouse, and it's basically like this monster that's like made out of metal, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, nicotine contains metal, and he's like, that's metal in your lungs. He just stares at the camera all the. I'm just like, I'd be saying it, I'd just be acting it myself. I'm just like, yo, what the hell? But no, yeah.
And then, like, they were saying, I seen there was like, oh, there's like the same chemicals inside cigarettes, like the same inside like inside of like cat litter and shit. Like some of the stuff is like a lot of the same components that are in a lot of other things.
The way it smells and just all that, the fumes, like I wouldn't be surprised.
Don't smoke, guys. Don't start. We were supposed to be the generation that stopped it. And then they came out with vapes, and y'all fucked it up.
Yeah,
we were really close. Things were people were fading out.
No, it was, and I hate to say this because it's the same thing how things are going with like coronavirus, where it's like it's almost like natural selection. Mm-hmm. You know, people that don't care and want to, you know, do what they want to do are going to like die off, and it's because of that cause. You know, that's making it, and then eventually it just fades out, like how natural selection is. But yeah, you know,
because like we were like, I feel like nobody I knew really smoked. It was just so like weed different. Like people smoked weed, but cigarettes.
I might see people like here and there, and it might be because they're like, oh, they didn't have weed, so they're like, oh, I need something to smoke, so they're like, oh, I'm gonna smoke. Just like they did it like one time and that was it. But yeah, like I would really not see anybody.
And then like towards the end of our high school years, like Juuls and all that shit became popular in like college, and people just hopped on that. Now I'm seeing people smoke cigarettes now, like our age, and I'm just like, yo, like why? Like you have no reason to.
Disgusting. Please don't do it.
If you say like stress, like I'd rather you smoke weed. I don't even smoke anything. I'd rather you smoke weed.
I'm saying like,
and if anything, and even if you want to go beyond that, like there's other ways to relieve stress than smoking.
Oh, there's lots of ways, and I'm just saying this right now. Like if you're my friend and you do it, like I'll be cool with you, but don't expect me to be around you when you do it, like at all, because I will not. Like I hate the smell. It's so bad for me. Like I just hate it, and like
any smoke like that gives me headaches.
I can see that.
I guess because I'm just not used to being around it. Like my family barely like. They like barely touch alcohol. Like they're just they're like nuns. So, but definitely not smoking. And yeah, I just never grew up around that really.
Yeah, but yeah, just don't do it. It's not worth it, and it's not. And like it's crazy to say because I even see these commercials too, where it'll be the nicotine ones, and I just recently saw one where it was like two girls there in the bathroom. And they were in the stall together, just like chatting it up. And she was about to go and smoke the vape, and then it accidentally fell in the toilet. And they were like, "Oh yeah, like I think it was like words that were saying like." And they were like, "Oh yeah, like how far would you go and vape?" And she like took it out of the toilet, and then she still vaped it. And it was just like the other girl, the friend that was there, was just looking at her and like in disgust, like what the like is it that important to you that you really are like that addicted to go and do it? So it's like it's not that I'm saying. It's just bad in the sense where it's like it won't just affect like your lungs, but it just affects other people around you too. Like people might act different towards you. I don't know. I'm not saying you should care what people think about you, but in a sense, it's like there's no need to hurt yourself. Yeah. So it's
just nasty.
Make the smart choice.
It's just a nasty habit.
Make the smart choice.
And it's hard as fuck to quit.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's crazy because I've never found anything that I feel like it's hard for me to quit. Like there's so like. It could be like being on the game like forever. Like I can't do that. I hate being on the game forever.
You start to feel it. You still have to feel fatigue.
Yeah, you feel like I feel that with a lot of things. It's like if I was to smoke, it's like I don't see myself being addicted. But then again, I never smoked a cigarette, so I wouldn't really know. But
yeah, there's certain things where it's not even about that. It's like I know like harder drugs. It's like one time or like 1 or 2 times, and that's like it's just your body.
You're just like no, or you're saying okay,
yeah,
like your body needs it, yeah. But I would never even go that far to do any of that.
So there are just some things where it's beyond like a mental thing. It's just like your body physically just gets to the point where it's like that, and that's where you see people get really bad. But this episode is sponsored by True.
It is sponsored by Dare.
Addictions. Do you have one? I know. But Mark, where can they find you? Because we gotta get ready for our next episode.
You can find me on ET. I don't know where I'm at right now. I don't know. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram, ETC Marky Mark. I said it wrong the last time. I just peeped because I said Marky Mark. But ETC Marky Mark on Instagram, Marky Mark on Twitter, on Twitch, nameless X _. Follow me on there, doing big things. Just had a game yesterday with some new people. Definitely going to be shining on my page. You'll see. If anything, you already will see it now.
Just make me your manager. I'm giving you talent. I'm giving you
connections. Giving me talent. He's giving me connections. So yeah, just go and follow me there too. And Vic, where can you find yourself and ETC at?
Find me on Instagram and Twitter at ETC Victor. ETC Victor. Etc. Stuff is real, etc. Email is real.etc@gmail.com. We love y'all. We thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for rocking with us every week. We feel the love. We pushing hard for y'all. We just want to reciprocate that energy. We love y'all. We see you next week.